Good afternoon. I am Adventure Argonaut. This is Rogue Trader. We are back trading with the rogues, or are we trading rogues? Which is it? Or are we rogues that are trading? Yesterday I sort of finished the space station dungeon, and we got a navigator. Was her name was Cassia? This crazy psyker monster chick, whatever. Yeah, but my streams all look very functional, so let's just get to the game. Let's play the game. Load. New navigator. Flight of the navigator. And before we leave, we should go test the laboratory. Let's go there. I checked online what we can do. I think there's like couple of different types of consumables we can make. So let's just, I'm gonna use instructions to do it. Oh yeah, we also have level up for her. But let's see. So we have to grind the psi crystal.
Stay faithful, and you will be rewarded.
Let's get the crystal dust and then adamantite. Then okay. So tissue flask, we have to put mutated flesh sample. This is that one. Then H41. Okay. Catalyst flask is bio gel. And then crystal dust. And activate device.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
Okay, here. Shimmering emulsion. User permanently gains +1 psi rating and 30% more chance to trigger perils of the warp. This isn't exactly what the guide says is the result, but I'm not complaining. Although I'm not. Yeah, inventory, I guess. I'm not complaining, really. We got something out of it. And the other one is I don't know. Anyway, this is flesh sample. K04 OH, this one. Unidentified acid, and the last one is probably adamantite dust. Yes. So what do we get?
I need to look closer.
And this is viscous solution. User permanently gains +1 deflection, but suffers -10 agility. Yeah, I think somewhere online somebody said that you can just give this to Cassia because she doesn't need agility for anything. That, you know, there's some other stat that, you know, takes care of that. Let's see. So she has good fellowship, perception, and willpower as well. What's her class? She's officer. Alright, so she's the first officer in my party. So use willpower and fellowship. Maybe I should focus on fellowship for her then. So is she... These have been chosen already. Do we... This finest hour. Lasting impression. Half of the bonus granted by voice command, whatever. It does something. So let's see. Blood augury. Enemies damaged by the navigator suffer plus 10 additional damage from any source of warp damage. The bonus damage stacks for each hit inflicted by the navigator. This effect stacks up to 5 times. So there's no recommendations again. Let's see first, like down here, like her class skills. I don't know, there's weird, like psychers. They're so different from everybody else, which, you know, makes sense. Every event turn, second, fourth, etc. The navigator gains an additional action point. Every odd turn, first gains plus 20 perception. Okay. Every enemy the navigator has in the line of sight has its dodge and hit chance reduced by -5. So starts all turns with +3 additional movement. First ally targeted by the navigator with a single target ability each turn gains the same amount of additional movement bonus. Whenever an ally in the combat gains extra turn, navigator gains stacking +5 bonus to willpower until end of combat. Stacks up to 5 times. Yeah, how do we get extra turns? Is it like using a running gun? Is that extra turn? I guess not. Navigator makes all resistance tests with the willpower if it is higher than the base characteristics for such test. If the navigator's willpower is higher than the toughness, the navigator's wounds are calculated according to their willpower. Ooh, okay, sounds cool. Enemies affected by the navigator's powers suffer a stacking -10 penalty to the next resistance test from the navigator's power. If navigator's perception is higher than their agility, their dodge is calculated using perception instead. Ah, okay, this is probably why we can use like the viscous solution that reduces agility. Yeah, okay, let's get this one. Alright. Yes, I will save just in case. Viscous. Okay, very subtle. But yeah, let's give it that to her then. Why is it like here notable? I just gonna see everything. Which one? Was this Staff of Orcelio Guardian? Strike, infuse. Okay, castigating. Let's see which one is better. Enemies targeted by navigators suffer -5 penalty to all their characteristics until the end of navigator's next turn. This penalty stacks and is prolonged until the navigator's next turn. Every time it stacks. Oh, allies targeted by navigator power gain +5 to all their characteristics until the end of navigator's turn. Okay, so do we want to be boosting our friends or being mean to our enemies? I guess so far I have to see her in combat to see like what sort of abilities. I don't want to take a look at it now. Guess she can. No, well, no. There's no point in giving her these gloves. See, where's the solution? This one. So how do we use that? Do we have to put it like here? This should be permanent, right? Yes, permanently gains.
Does something trouble you, Lord Captain? You are in the presence of House Orcelio.
Okay. Yeah, agility -10. Alright. She's dogmatic. Ooh, my kind of gal. Let's see. She has auto pistol. Okay, let's give her those. And she has armored body glove. I guess that's probably okay for her. Anything else? Accessories. Yeah, we don't really have any accessories to give her. I guess that's good enough for now. Now we can probably get the heck out of this place. I don't think there's anything else we can. Like, what's the. We have one more thing we could use here, the meteorite chunk. I'm just gonna check online what to do with the meteorite chunk, because that's like, I don't know, like, I have no idea whether it's gonna be useful later or can we do something with it now. No, I don't wanna get spoiled in the story and stuff like that online, but like, you know, these minor things, they're gonna bother me, like if I don't find out. Okay, it's supposedly a red herring, so we can sell it. I guess, yeah, that's all we can do with it. Alright, then let's just get out.
The divine watches over us.
Jump.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Nothing's impossible. Hey, there's
hidden in the heart
turn
all to
there's food here. Ah, yeah, because we had a fight. Now all of them, they are Ritobi pattern lasgun. Well, it seems worse than a well-made. Wait, is this a shotgun? Well, let's see. Ritobi shotgun. Okay, let's take him and check. Like, shotgun sounds fun. I don't know if it's good. Just for renting shots. There's some weird drumming outside. Some sort of festival or something. Just don't be too loud. I don't want it to wake up my son. I'm not gonna use the shotgun now. We can think about it later. Oh, okay, there's still... Yeah, there's also this guy. Dead Stab Revolver. Strength 35 requirement. House or castigating, we have that sort of stuff already. Tactical goggles. Ooh. Okay, I guess we can put that to cargo and this one too. So who can use this? Yes, it's probably better. Does more damage and stuff. And what's this? Tactical goggles. Crit chance, hit chance, and crit chance bonus. I guess we now is logic where now we are probably gonna, you know, our tasks in the immediate future is probably gonna be more, you know, social or stuff. Like instead of combat, but I guess you can switch between them or something. I just have to remember, like when we are heading into danger, then he can equip this. But I guess I sort of wanna keep it on the main character. What's this? It's a shotgun. Oh no, we have 2 shotguns already. Last gun. Alright, I guess that's everything. Do a last final save in case we forget. Evac. Yeah, just evac.
Know your
Okay,
duty.
finally, let's proceed with the actual game. Well, this is, you know, taking care of stats and practical issues is part of the game, but let's continue with the story, hopefully. Rogue Trader's companions frequently have something to say about unfolding events. Ah yeah, I should go talk to them. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first... Your heart starts beating furiously, your breaths come short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Victis is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, searching for the source of this sudden wave of unease. Decided not to make use of charm that could inhibit Cassia or Celio's powers. Ah, we didn't use. Okay, I thought we sort of used, so we just convinced her. Okay. Without even looking at Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak with the Rogue Trader. Leave us. Of course, you and you are ready for the ritual. Please let me know. Cassia sweeps her pensive gaze over Victis, then lowering her lashes slightly turns to you. By what right do you issue commands on my vessel? Do not forget that you are alive solely thanks to my magnanimity. Cassia's ruby-red eyes seem to glitter with some intense emotion, whether anger or fear is hard to say. Casting her eyes down, then she continues quietly, choosing each word with care. Forgive my insolence, rogue trader. It was not my intention to weave coppery threads around you, or to appear ungrateful. So what do you want to talk about? Nothing of consequence, I see now, for you have already made it quite clear that on board this vessel my hands and lips are bound by your will. Therefore I do not wish to fritter away time on pointless conversation. I am ready to go to Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and best paints you have on board, but no red. Um, Tell me more about what the ritual entails. I doubt the uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation. I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship, so that I become one with the vessel. Cassia lifts a lock of hair from the back of her neck, revealing gilded implant ports. After that, I use House or Celia ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts, and then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light guiding thread, so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. Cassia unfurls her hand as though dropping something. But you have nothing to worry about. The navigators of House Orcelio never lose their course. Why do you refuse red paint? Cassia gestures toward the servant standing beside her. Uwe will give of his blood before the ritual, as always. Is it Cassia or Velia's servants? Yeah. Um, I shall ensure that all the necessary supplies are delivered to Sanctum Navis. Cassia nods in thanks. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me. If you can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is opened. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between Lady Navigator and the bridge. May the Emperor's light help us all. Rykad. And Voxcaster in Sanctum Navis picks up the susurration of close, pious chanting, and the metallic clicking of the implants. Then the serene voice of Lady Navigator breaks silence. Initiating communion ritual. Come here, Uwe. There is exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard, the low sob of the servant, the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas, the faint whisper of the brush. Go! Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails, and umber shadows spinning over the surface of a fiery dance. A storm rising above foaming waters, armadas drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit. Of her? No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. Voxmaster records at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitated levers. The panel beneath her fingers emits sparks and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I've never heard the warp speaking through Navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. I don't know. Leave the Lady Navigator undisturbed. The soul-shredding screams drown out of the Vox transmission. The servants in the sanctum navis are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain, their throats raw from the strain, and then sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaims their fate. It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's rite, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the sanctum navis after the ritual, or what is left of them. Trader, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be the whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush, it only draws me onward. The way is blocked. You hear heavy exhale, rustling fabric, and metallic clicking. By Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits but something other. I will retreat to my chambers, recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Please spare me a few moments of your time, as there are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I wish to report the condition of the station, Urak 5. Had you opted to begin your visit on the Rogad system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representatives of Navis nobility brought us precious time. We can either focus our efforts on disassembling the station and procuring technological components for our own vessel, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Hmm, I don't know. Loot everything from jewelry to the very last manuscript. I think the manuscript sounds interesting. Maybe there's something there. 2 profit factor gained. As you command, profit factor gain 2. With your permission, I would like to remind you that we are still looking for Engineer Prime. Both the vessel and its marine spirit are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We are also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not yet located Heinrich Van Kallox, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for certain that he was not at Urak 5, so we should keep in mind when we making any future plans. Thank you, Vigdis. This will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Unless can we? I want to go to the ship. Void ship management. Back to the bridge. I should go talk to my, party members and stuff about their private issues. Testing wide shields, confirm receipt instructions. Do you copy? Oh, and we have a level up. Waiting once again. The level ups are really a bit too frequent, if you ask me. This first world problems. Let's see. I guess maybe I should raise my intelligence since I took the feat. So I can raise my intelligence as well. Controlled shots. Soldier gives a sign that they are about to open fire. The soldier and their allies will automatically dodge the soldier's next attack. I guess if I use like the, rapid fire, whatever that is. Soldier immediately dashes in their selected direction, spending all their movement points, does not provoke attacks of opportunity, allows the soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. So wait, these are abilities, they're not talents. Concentrated fire. The next ranged area attack made by soldier deals plus 90% damage as an additional 18% dodge reduction. That sounds like fun. Entrench. Soldier immediately spends all their AP and MP and gains plus 30 bonus to cover efficiency. Next time the soldier uses run and gun, they gain back all spent AP and MP plus one additional AP. So resist the cooldown of all other soldiers' abilities except for run and gun. Interesting. Soldier's next ranged burst attack will have its base rate of fire doubled but deal minus 25% less damage. Well, the shots will follow random trajectories. Only works with weapons capable of burst fire. Maybe just concentrated fire. Okay. But this guy. Oh. Skill. See his skills. Warpler minus 170. Yeah, because there's one who his carousing skill is quite high. May give access to new dialogue options, so maybe that. Yeah, demolition sucks. Let's see. Coercion. What's his coercion? Not good either. Yeah, we shouldn't waste points on that. Oh yeah, you can see here the current skill, right? Yeah. Medicae might be, I guess, carousing. Endure. I have this already. So, yeah. Reckless Strike. Warrior's next melee attack gains plus 20% armor penetration plus 8 damage and ignores 12% of the target's parry. Every enemy who survives an attack enhanced by this ability will attack the warrior in return, including creatures with ranged weapons. Because Reckless Strike, so it's dangerous. Warrior marks target gaining plus 22% armor and plus 6 damage on melee attacks against the target. The target attacks warrior during his turn, the warrior gains plus 1 AP once per round. Sworn enemy. Breakthrough. Warrior gains slash ability which costs 0 AP and has 1 charge yes for the current round. Slash cannot be used as same round as charge. Okay, what is slash? It's the guy from Guns N' Roses. Warrior dashes through an enemy to the cell on the enemy's opposite side and makes a melee attack with minus 50% reduced damage. Can be applied only once for the target per round, does not provoke attack of opportunity. Not bad, but not super interesting. Forceful strike. The warrior gathers all their might for a crushing strike. The next melee attack pushes the enemy away. The distance of the push is equal to 3 cells. Cannot be used against with a heavy rock. So, okay. How about push? Like, can it do damage if I push him against a wall or something? Should the pushed target collide with an obstacle or another creature, both the target that was pushed and the target they collide will take damage, if they can take damage at all. That sounds sort of fun. Taunting Scream. Warrior unleashes a terrifying scream, becoming the attention of their enemies and becoming priority target for any enemy who faces a willpower resistant test for 3 rounds. Well, that's good for a tank, certainly. I sort of like the pushing stuff. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I like it. I guess I shouldn't overthink this stuff. Okay, how about her? Operative. So what's her intelligence? Still not that high. Perception. We raised. We could. Yeah, I guess we can still raise willpower if we want to. Let's see everybody's perception. Because her perception was 45. So her perception, oh no, second best. Then maybe I shouldn't focus her too much on perception. Let's just get her the willpower. Fresh target. Whenever the operative attacks an enemy that's full wounds, that attack deals plus 14 damage more damage. Exposed weakness plus 0 AP. Whenever operative triggers an exploit on an enemy, operative gains. Exposed weakness also reduces enemy's toughness and willpower. This might be good, actually. This is like does more damage against distant enemies. Something like that might be good. Every Paris of the Warp increases momentum by 13. Maybe it's just this one. Reduces enemy's toughness and willpower. It's this one. But then I have to start using because damn psychers. It's a pain in my neck and my ass and my head. Whenever a Psycho kills an enemy with psychic power dealing more damage than the target's wounds, the excess damage will be dealt to the closest to the enemy closest to the target. Okay, let's just take this one. It sounds like fun. Sir, agility, ballistics. What's her strength? 35. Perception also affects her shooting, right? Ah, yeah, here it shows the other party members' stats as well. Awareness skill. Maybe agility because she's been knocked out once or twice already, so maybe, more dodge is good. Control shot, so it's the same crap. So we took. Control shot. I take concentrated fire, I think, but yeah, her damage is bigger, the bonus, so I guess it's somehow tied to her stats. I don't know, let's take dash. Just been spending time leveling up the characters, but hey, that's how it is. So let's see, fellowship. How's Yeah, she's the one with the highest fellowship. Let's take some fellowship for her. Blood of Martyrs. Whenever an ally uses Heroic Act, that ally gains temporary wounds equal to 10% of their maximum wounds plus 7. Commanding voice, the range of the officer ability is increased by 3. Range of voice of command is increased by 6. So what is voice of command exactly? The officer forces an ally to fully push themselves, increasing their characteristics by 10 plus officer's fell bonus for 1 round. Additionally, all the officer's abilities can be applied to the target of voice of command from any distance. A character who becomes target of voice of command cannot be targeted by this ability again for the next 2 rounds. Okay, so it increases the stats. Basically, do better. Officer uses an ability on an ally. That ally gains bonus to their perception and ballistic skill equal to 4. This bonus is stacked, but Inspire Courage. Whenever the officer targets an ally with an ability for the first time in a round, the ally gains plus 5 temporary wounds. Whenever an officer attacks an ally with an action, an ability or an attack, ally's resolve is increased by 1 until the end of the officer's next turn. And Steel Resolve. Resolve is increased by plus 3. Whenever the navigator uses navigator power, veil degradation is reduced by -1. What are her navigator powers exactly? Navigator gains +5 fellowship and an additional +1 fellowship for every navigator talent or navigator power taken. So how much would it be altogether? How many I think, are these navigator powers? I think this one, because it has the eye symbol. Allies are targeted by navigator's power. So let's see. So this is warp features. Time. Is this? The archetype is off. Is a universal sport, defense, fans, favorite. What are navigator powers exactly? That would be really nice to know. Like, why doesn't it say what the type is? Rather than, so this is all features. So no excuse. Eye of Oblivion. Every enemy has to navigate that has the navigator that the navigator has in their line of sight has dodge and hit chance reduced by. Maybe it's just something like this. This is like, you know, generally useful. I guess it means that the navigator cannot be, you know, sit in the back. Have to sort of be, you know, where she can see everybody. Enemies affected with navigator's powers suffer a stacking -10 penalty to their resistance. No. Yes, I have this already, so why is it not like blanked out or something? Uses navigator power. I guess it's. Let's see. Where can we see our powers? Skills, weapons, features, origin challenge. So is it like this lidless there? All creatures in a cone in front of the navigator suffer damage. Affected must also pass a +30 bonus willpower resistance. Hestor becomes stunned. So I presume this is a navigator power then. Fellowship. Maybe I'll just take this one. Every enemy in the navigator that they have in their line of sight has dodge and hit chance reduced by 5. Yeah, let's just take that one. That at least should be useful at some point. Okay, let's go talk to our PCs. Voyage men-at-arms, Lord Captain. January Stanrock. Greetings, your lordship. January Stanrock at your service. Remind me, what is it you do on my ship? As the High Factotum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that supplies deliver all shipments on time, that our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and that All servants remember that the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil for the good of the one Valancius dynasty. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspection by port customs officer, and I find buyers for whatever you wish to sell, such as he's the merchant guy or something. And of course, I ensure that the Protectorate worlds prepare their tithe in a timely fashion. Let none ever say in my lifetime that the dynasty has disgraced itself with a late payment for the sacred tribute. How did you come to serve for the Von Valancius dynasty? I come from Darganus, your lordship. I have been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and I have always strived to be of use to the great rogue trader. Alas, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family due to my being the 15th in line for the title, so I decided not to stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempted to shorten the waiting list at my expense. Januaries lets out an almost kindly chuckle. While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping, the greatest art of adeptus administratum. So I studied the blade while you were, I don't know, masturbating in your feces. I must admit that the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and the other traditional amusements of my noble peers. What was it like working with Theodora? Oh, that's a tricky question, your lordship. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about their predecessor? I shall put it thus: working with Lady Theodora was never boring and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but the very few do what they love and what they are best suited to. I would say Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader, and she surrounded herself with those who excelled at and loved their work. Hers was a rare talent indeed. I want to know what you think of your fellow crew members. Keep in touch with Sonia subordinates. Voice move. Tell me who interests you, and I will endeavor to be as honest as possible. January's eyes light up. He's obviously eager to speak his mind. Tell me what you think of Seneschal Abelard Verserian. Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not: teach Master Verserian to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what method she used, but the result is impressive. Having said that, there is something else you need to know, Lord Captain. Your seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit for your will. He possessed the cunning and experience to run the Protectorate passively whenever Lady Theodora was away. And that really is saying something. Keep an eye on that old officer, I say, or alternatively turn him into a faithful ally. I'd like to hear your opinion of Conrad Vogtlier, the former Master of Whispers. I hope I never see him set foot aboard this vessel again, not even as a servitor, although he would be able to do at least some good that way. Someone has to clean the latrines, after all. The factotum's bloated face grows stern. He gave us all quite a fright on that ill-fated day, Lord Captain, and still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Voigtvir's company. But I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken. It turned out Conrad lacked the most important quality of a Master of Whispers: unwavering loyalty to the rogue trader, and his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner. What do you have to say about Voxmaster Vitis Tolman? Ah, yes, the Voidborn. You know, in my family, we used such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Mutants are the bane of humanity, an unseen tumor that threatens to end us all. But I'm Voidborn too. How dare you? But I digress. In the brief time Soliman has spent in post as Voxmaster, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character or anything that would make me question her professional qualities. Needless to say, she is very diligent, as is any Voidborn seeking to earn their master's affection. I believe you can trust in her skills and loyalty. Wish to discuss something else? As you say, I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. Of course, Lord Captain, who interests you exactly? We most often deal with the followers of Saint Drusus, the explorators. Caspalic Mission or the Emperor forgive us, the Fellowship of the Void. What do the followers of Saint Drusus acquire from us? The Drusians still hope to bring the Coronus expanse into the warm embrace of the faith, just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of Drusian missionaries. Each crate of food, shipment of clothes, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign of rogue trader himself believes in Sek's future success. Reverend Hieronymus is the first among the Drusians and is most often seen in Footfall's grand atrium, a gloomy fellow, but some believe him to be a saint. But the explorators, members of the Explorator Cognizance fleet, which has been roaming the Coronus expanse for a good while now. Omnisia knows that they are hoping to find what they're hoping to find, but the acolytes regularly show up on uninhabited worlds, seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out xeno artifacts. If truth be told, supposedly they want to save the ignorant rebel from corruption. A tech priest named Optican22 does business with us on a fleet's behalf. He can be found at docks at Footfall. Yeah, how about the Caspalic Mission, Metallica Mission? Masters of code trade, immoral criminals, notorious crooks to the last man. The mission is but one branch of this mafia gang that has taken root of Calix's sector. What's this? An imperial sector located in the Sanctum Obscurus next to the frontier region of the Coronus Expanse. You can do business with them as long as you take the necessary precautions. They are led by Vladium Tokara, who recently appointed himself Liege of Footfall. Of course, he is a trusted ally of rogue trader Scale, but he will not refuse you. Another emperor of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to talk to Vladium, look for him in the Liege Palace on Footfall. Okay, what is the Fellowship of the Void? A pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over loot and territory. However, some of their little flotillas need supplies, or can take awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there is always risk that these scoundrels will change their mind and attempt to board us instead. But so far, our macro cannons have managed to keep them in line. They say Risa Calvaria speaks on the Fellowship's behalf. The Adeptus and Massacres on Footfall is rumored to be her favorite haunt. Why have we given away our spores to these people in the first place? To profit from them, of course. Most of the things you will find during expeditions are complete junk to one such as yourself, but the less fortunate and affluent servants of the Emperor think them treasures, especially when they are bestowed by the great rogue trader himself. Drusian fanatics and pirate cutthroats, Caspalica dealers and explorators, none will refuse our help in these dark and trying times. There may come a time when we shall be the ones requiring aid, and it would be beneficial to have allies willing to provide for it. Okay. I wish to bolster my retinue with skilled fighters. Rest assured, there are people of the most outstanding talents among thousands of your crew. I will contact the overseers at once. Okay. Wait, I can generate new characters or what? So
we need to investigate.
Could I like just create new party members? Okay, I'm not gonna do that now. My retinue and I are in need of training. I will show you sparring chambers at once. Okay, what's this? The cost of future is okay. What's this? Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, that would be nice to have, like a tutorial explaining what the fuck are these features actually, and what's the benefits and the dangers. Abelard. Let's talk to Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Let's talk about things that may be useful to me as the rogue trader.
A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Outline the situation in the Coroner's Expanse for me. What do you need to know? What do I need to know and keep in mind?
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
Who are the main players I need to be aware of in the Coroner's Expanse?
In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronis Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Caligos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them. If we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronis Expanse.
Conrad, our previous Master of Whispers, what can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight.
Indeed.
We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Velatius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake. If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
Let's hunt him down instead and
as you wish, Lord
fuck him in
Captain.
the ass, just like George W. Bush said. I'd like to know more about my seneschal.
As you wish, Lord Captain. What would you like to know?
Tell me about yourself, What were you before you became Theodora's seneschal?
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling, the essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium.
For the Empire.
I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue trader's personal council. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the expanse.
Leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy. Why were you permitted to quit your post?
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. The Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and
Forcing
lists.
test succeeded.
On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing, or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank.
Okay. The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless.
Okay. Do you have a family?
I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. My family lives on Argonaut. None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship, and I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps.
Okay. No more questions.
Of course.
You may call me by my first name if you wish.
I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
And also because he cannot say there's no voice lines for Adolf Argonaut.
Lord Captain.
Abelard gives you a regulation salute. Okay, yeah, we went there. Alright, this is Lord Captain's quarters. Anybody else here? Elsman Raivor, Uwe, there's Cassia over here as well. Argenta. I guess let's talk to these guys. This guy. The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his white, almost dark-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in bars that hint at the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod. Lord Captain, Master Hamson of Raver at your service. Remind me, who are you? I am the master helmsman, Lord Captain. I stand at the wheel at here top. I lead your vessel and bark commands at the idiots who tend to its related systems. In layman's terms, I am the one who stops us from running into an asteroid or a disruptive gravitational wave when we're traveling through the void. Do you control the ship in real space? I wish that was my job. I have to steer her through the warp tube. But most of the credit for that goes to the navigator. The warp's a nightmare, always tossing up something new. All my years at the helm, they count for nothing in there. My part's small enough. I just monitor our systems, follow the charted course, and I don't kick up fuss when the new orders coming from the navigator's sanctum. Real space. Now that's where I keep my eyes peeled. Gravitational anomalies, void currents, hard radiation, that kind of shit shows up everywhere. Thank the Emperor, the augurs on this vessel are holding up. So far we've been able to spot if something bad's coming our way. Real space term used to refer to the material universe as opposed to the warp. What idiots in charge you are in charge of? There are too many to list them. Tech priests from the engineering, bridgemen from the auger decks, the work-shy fools on the bridge. I'd have every last one of them flogged. They all need a wake-up call. They need to be whipped into shape, or else this ship will be going nowhere. Or even worse, it'll go somewhere we don't want it to. You must have dealings with the navigator as part of your duties. Raver stares at you, they're blurting out. Damn it, Lord Captain, to tell the truth, I've been asking myself, where the Lord Captain fished this Arcelia girl out of? Now it's not like I've met many navigators, but this one, I don't feel safe with that little princess pulling our void ship through the warp. She's done a decent job so far, though I guess she's managing. Enough for now. You're a voidborn, are you not? That I am, born into a helmsman clan in the bowels of the Chartist vessel, studied the family trade until I was 15. Then my entire clan was butchered in a mutiny by a lower hole scum. They spared the young'uns, of course they did. The kids with implanted connectors make great navigational servitors, but I was having none of it. They weren't going to make a servitor out of me, so I escaped into the crawlways, and I spent months picking them off, one after other. Raver stops abruptly. You got me talking up a storm. Anyway, yes, I'm a voidborn. Finish your story, Raver. Raver stays silent for a few seconds. Not much to tell. I got it everyone I could get to, and then I fled upward to the middle decks. That's where the auger operators took me under the wing. They have apprentice helmsmen up of their own up there, you see. Nobody asked me any questions, so I stayed. I grew up, trained, got smarter, then ended up at junior helmsman. A dozen years later, Danrock spotted me and lured me away. It's a cheeky blighter. I used to be an officer of the Imperial Navy. I can say this with certainty. The best helmsmen come from the Voidborn. I'm glad to have you at the helm of my ship. Raver freezes, tensely staring at you in the eye and clearly trying to discern if your words are meant as mockery. After a moment's pause, muscle in his face twitches, and another, his cheeks spasm, his mouth twists, and realize that Raver is unsuccessfully trying to remember how to smile. Oh, thank you, Lord Captain. I won't let you down. I can see you're not a gregarious sort. Raver's eye twitches, which makes the grimace on his face even uglier. I have nothing to displease, Lord Captain. On the contrary, you're the first person on the bridge who's not tripping over themselves to lick my boots. The helmsman's perpetually twisted mouth twitches as he's trying to smile. It looks sinister rather than friendly. Oh yeah, well, I'm pleasantly surprised myself that you aren't having me flogged for insubordination. Will wonders never cease? Raver points at the cables around himself. Connector wires. Once they go into the control panel, I become one with the ship, except the bloody cogs messed up the wire stimulus injectors and connectors when they implanted them. They twisted the wires the wrong way and burned something in my noggin. Anyway, I can't sleep. It just doesn't happen anymore. It's been 30 years of non-stop stimulants and splitting headache. So forgive me if I'm not all smiles, Lord Captain. Tell me about the Voidborn. Favor Vince is an red system. Lord Captain, I meant no disrespect, but you do better find someone with a knack for conversation, like Soliman, the new Worksmaster. I ain't talking type. Just get the ship where she needs to go. Best let the folks stick to what they do best. What can you tell me about the other officers? Good for nothing wasters, that's what they are, and each and every one of them. Take Generous Danrock, Highborn Weasel. He fawns over the officers, but some of the deals he makes would get him burned alive. He drags other people into his skins so they can take the fall for him. One of my superior helmsmen was ferrying goods from Footfall for him. Got caught up by the Seneschal, ended up in the Void Hatch. Danrock couldn't care less. The Worksmaster, another Soliman like the last one. Void rest him. He's no better. She cut off half the Vox channels the day she took up her post. Said the Vox systems were damaged and the engineering had no contact with the other modules. But how am I supposed to steer the ship? Collect the Cox reports with the power of my mind? First Officer Verserian. I can't stand him. I like his candor. Like every officer I ever met. He doesn't know a thing about controlling a vessel in the void, and he puffs himself up all the same and throws his weight around. Me and him had a few words a few times before he left me alone. Thank the Emperor Lady Theodore trusted me more than the Seneschal when it came to helming a void ship. Then there's that woman. What's her name? Class? Lady Theodora brought her along wherever she went, and look at what happened to her. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that it was that witch that delivered her to an early grave, just like the countless souls before. I don't see why anyone would want that walking calamity on their ship. But some would disagree. They say she's friend with young Tolman. You know, at least he used to be. An exhaustive answer. I ain't got a better one, Lord Captain. I must take my leave. Lord Captain. Alright, let's go talk to Argenta.
Rogue trader.
Sister Argent looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes. Her hair is somewhat disheveled and she moves like she's on edge. Let's first ask about her personal stuff, then the personal quest. Tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. I beg your pardon, Rogue Trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
They say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor.
For the
They
Emperor.
are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit.
What sort of trials of
there
body?
There have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness. But do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from
So
me.
their sisters, are they like nuns, you know, are they celibate, asking for a friend?
Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her. For nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of faults and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
What order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
Lord Imperium succeeded. The Order Pronatus is not one of the Order's militant, yet you are a trained fighter.
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge. And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
You said you belong to the Calixian branch of your order. What brought you to the Coroner's Expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parsimus Duane, the station's founder.
Are there any other members of the Adeptus Sororitas in the Coroner's Expanse?
None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy. Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
I'm gonna take interest in your... Tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
How did you end up on Theodora's ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the cultist attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that
She stopped short.
I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, where crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I had barely recovered from my wounds when the cultists struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
Is it difficult for you to accept that you made a mistake?
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
We could go to the planet to deal with the Chaos Worshippers.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone. along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valancius Protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
What was it like traveling on Theodore's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the cultists. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright. As you wish.
What is it keeping you in my retinue?
The ship was targeted by heretics, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
It pleases me to have a servant of the Golden Throne in my crew. May the enemies of the Imperium tremble before our onslaught.
So they shall.
So you said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in von Valancius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with the orphans?
Yes, I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the von Valancius dynasty. My consideration is the least they deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Okay, so we're gonna do it immediately, I guess. Let the children to come unto me. Are those the children? They're grown quite big. The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the scholar progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with the adequate care and instructions. So what is the scholar progenium? A division of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of the orphans of those officers and nobles who have died in the service of the Imperium. Our agenda is standing at the side of the group. At their approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of the ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, Rogue Trader of House von Valancius. Heinrich Montag, we saw this guy before, right? Notice Infernus Master Heinrich Montag standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Infernus Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Not at all, no, Chip. Just looking out for them. It's the Infernus' way to help folks in trouble. It's our job after all. So we chip in rations here and there to make sure nobody gives them a hard time. We take the older ones into the clan's care if they want. Many in the guild are not our family by blood, but by circumstance. I guess this grandly addressed the group. I, the rogue trader and lord captain of the ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the Von Valencien's banners and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them, and I believe you will become their worthy heirs. They also give their lives, of course. Teenagers hang on to every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen and particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in the dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches." Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes into her dark eyes. Like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. Maybe one of these, either address the group or ignore the interruption. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. Boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back. It won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse. Maybe this one. The strong have power to decide the fate of others. The weak either obey or die. If you seek a different lot in life, boy, save your grumbling and look for an opportunity to rise above the rest. You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It is hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign. Servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valencius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the boy. Leaves the bay, not the boy. Oh, does she have like candles or turbines or what on her pack there? Okay, so that was the meeting. Okay. Is this the right way? Oh, this is the wrong. Still would be nice to have some sort of compass or something. But more. Let's see if Argenta has still something to add.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy with her dark eyes shining and a slight blush on her cheek. She's reciting a prayer and looks at you only once. The only one she has spoken the final line. Okay, so she has nothing to say about the meeting anymore. Okay, I guess that's fine. Okay, let's talk to Uwe. Uwe has just had his tongue cut off like the rest of the lesser servants of House Orselio. Okay, I guess that's good. We don't have to talk to him.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terra.
Listen in silence.
And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds.
Thank you, Data.
House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly?
Allow me to ask you a few personal questions.
You have my permission, Lord Captain.
So you've never lived anywhere other than Europe 5?
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Tell me about your life on the station.
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
Did you have friends, someone you could turn to for a simple conversation or a discussion of yet another lecture?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused, and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station, and you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence. And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
You have a point. It's about time we didn't make that quite. I will have a lower rank stripped of them both, of course. No, I'm not that psychotic. You may find it difficult to believe, but the practice of depriving servants of their voice is not particularly widespread outside House Orselio.
Please forgive me, Lord Captain. I was sure it was a sacred tradition made sacrosanct by the ancient vows of obedience. I expect more surprises will be waiting for me outside the walls of Urac 5.
Your third eye, do you always conceal it?
The Navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift, and one of the duties that we bear is to guard our eye, even from wayward glances that may bear evil. Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The Navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds.
Hello there. You are beautiful, Cassia. Do not let anyone or anything convince you otherwise.
Lord Captain, you are overstepping the bounds of propriety.
Ooh, gonna step further. I wouldn't dare make fun of a lady's feelings, especially not the one who has captivated me since I first set eyes on her. Oh,
Words like that,
you
Lord
started a
Captain,
romance. I got
could
achievement.
easily be misconstrued. You should familiarize yourself with some of the works in your library to learn the appropriate manner of conversing with a lady.
Okay. What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Elronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me.
The wood?
But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers. As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
I noticed that your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many images with hues and colors.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
Okay, talk about something
You will
else.
hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
Tell me about House Orseliu.
As the only voice of our family on this
Arsenio
vessel,
Hall.
it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them.
I take House Orseliu has a rich history.
Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Coronis Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded the borders of humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy.
Who rules the house?
Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent Elronto Orselio is ensuring the stability of the house.
You lived in seclusion on a close station until Falek committed sabotage, so then you must be the Novator's successor.
So says Regent Elronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novator. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden.
Is Orselio prophecy system named after your ancestor? Imperium lore.
You are shrewd indeed. My ancestor charted that route while fleeing the enemies of humanity. They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green
My son woke
hubris.
up. I'll be right back.
I think Kalain Orselio was simply a skilled navigator.
I am back. We are back. My son is here with me now. With your permission, I would like to talk about something else.
By all means.
What does your special sight reveal?
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it.
So there's some nasty spirits.
Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life. Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
Okay, let's talk about us, shall we?
Right here? Are you sure?
It's best for us if we end our relation. Okay, let's discuss other things.
Of course. Let us turn from
Yeah, I
I
must
have
take my
enjoyed
leave.
your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Let's do a save. Talking. There she is. Is there any other important NPCs? No. Something like the party members, of course. Shit. Where? I can't see her. Shit. Here. Okay. The tall, middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Idira turns her head towards you and offers a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. Idira, about your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You're a psyker. Psykers are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut. If it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Idra bears her teeth in a savage grin, febrile gleam in her eye. This. Where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss.
Sounds like
Trust
space
me.
Africa.
But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
What did you do before you came onto the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Did you end up in the rogue trader's service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. And as I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then, Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered their guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So, I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
Have you ever been off the ship? Well, we went on the away mission.
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can, after some Amasek. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
So Amasek is some booze. You never finished your story about first time crossing the warp?
It wasn't... It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
Let's talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
What is it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me, but it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
What would happen if your door burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
Aren't you afraid of losing control?
Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for disaster.
Can you see my future?
That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure.
All right, let's hear what they're whispering about you.
So she laughs, rubs her hands together, suddenly freezes the vacant smile on her face, her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin and your color begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half window.
Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion.
Red-robed sage. Is that the guy we're supposed to find, the Heinrichs or whatever?
A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master? Or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
This as well.
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well, not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission,
What's going on with the sound?
I'd be going out through
The airlock?
the airlock.
I'm not an idiot, so never stuck my nose
no
where it
idiot.
didn't belong.
Yes.
Only when it
So I
was
never
asked.
stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked.
What's going on with the sound? Is it like... Is it the computer's problem? Or that the sound was a bit choppy? Or is it the game?
Hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
Things are strange between you and Argent, isn't that right?
The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Yeah, there's clearly some dark secret with her, or
Of
like
course.
spirits.
Always at your service, whenever you need me.
Okay. Let's go check out our quarters. But yeah, I guess probably won't have time for a fight this stream. It's just been like 2 hours of talking to people and a little bit of leveling up. But hey, this is an RPG. There's stuff going on. Okay, hefty tome contains schematics of the flagship of House von Valancius, according to the plethora of copies of notes, copies of reports, other documents. Majestic portrait painted by a skilled artist, great guests who have been granted permission to enter Lord Question's quarters. Let's get this thing down and put our picture there instead. Or maybe just some random anime waifu. Maybe that would be better. If anime existed in the world of 40k, would it be deemed something that the Emperor accepts, or something, you know, chaotic heresy or something? The positions of the pieces on the board suggest that this game is of regicide was interrupted. Was never determined. Limited displaying weapons, mesmerizing. You have never seen these articles before. Blah, blah. Liturgies of the Faithful, the Sword and Name. The text below has solemn reading, looks noticeably faded. It appears the prayer book has been kept open on the space for a very long time. There's this thing. Did we see it before? Bizarre fragment hung on a trophy board. A light, smooth surface object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes. Okay, yeah, there was stuff here. Link your... No, I'm not gonna link my account. Screw you. Is this where she was dead? Yeah, the glinting of the polished skull makes some non-Xenos makes it seem like the bony face is mocking you. Yeah, that was where the militant guy was dead, and this Lord Waltz, Lord Captain stated choice. Okay, so this is all the cargo stuff. Guess we can, yeah, put some of this stuff away. So we can still keep the shotguns. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Okay, we can't get rid of this. Vault. Okay, so wait, can we? Yeah, we can move this to the cargo like this. So vault is for like some special stuff. Okay, we could put this in the vault. I don't know, are there like some valuables that we have? It's glowing stone. This is gonna be something. Okay, it's the donators or something for Patreon. Not Patreon, was the whatever it is. Give. My brain is blank. Whatever that, you know. You donate money to people so they make their game. Whatever that crap was. Goods. Unfinished letter. His chagrin is irrelevant. Voigtvir's mistake cost me too much work. Years of work, tremendous resources, all wasted. He has failed at what we have supposed to be irreproachable at. Uncovering spies, and this one was a senior officer. I'm not about to discard him. Conrad has served me for too long for his removal to go painlessly for the Protectorate. Besides, he is no fool. He could not have seriously expected to become the next in the von Valencia's line when his skills and talents as Master of Whispers are so valuable. Let this inheritance serve as humiliating but instructive lesson from which we may yet learn. Change appearance? No, I'm not gonna do that. Correct date slate. Final translations. The chartists are complete. Fire reckoning is now fully equipped. The objectives loaded. Okay, whatever. Is there anything else here? I guess not. Let's head back to the bridge then. And I'm gonna save and end the stream here. And next time we're gonna actually do some adventuring. This was more like a conversation Argonaut. Just find an old Fight of the Navigator. Well, the Navigator is here, so why not this one? Alright. But yeah, I guess tomorrow we're gonna see where we're gonna go from the map and all that stuff. Takes too much load. I just wanted to have a quick look of it. Okay, here. So we are here. There's Rykard Majoris. Rykard Minoris. Quest New Blood. Okay, there's a bunch of quests over there. Unidentified void ship. So maybe it should go here next because there's many quests here. Yeah, that's probably the right place to go, but gonna end the stream here. I'm Adventure Argonaut, Adolf Argonaut, Conversation Argonaut. I have so many names. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.